President Trump faces the likelihood of being impeached by the Democrat-controlled House of Representatives. How that action is being received here on Delmarva.
New streetlights were installed on two of the main roads in Rehoboth Beach last month. I'm Jared Leedy and find out how these LED lights have an impact both from a cost standpoint and what the businesses think about it.
And if you think it's cold outside now, get ready for a weather shock. We have your first alert forecast.
From the beaches to the bay, coverage you can count on. WRDE Coast TV News first at 5:30. Your local news hour starts right now.
A day dominated by impeachment debate in Washington and here at home. I'm Madeline Overturf.
And I'm at Pensick. We begin tonight with the historic but likely party line impeachment vote scheduled today for President Donald Trump.
The impeachment proceedings against President Donald Trump have been going on for months when House Speaker Nancy Pelosi announced a formal inquiry into his dealings with Ukraine. The House of Representatives today are debating articles of impeachment against President Trump. Debate over the articles began midday, and a final vote on both articles is expected sometime this evening. Should the articles pass as expected in the Democratic-controlled House, it would make President Trump only the third president in U.S. history to be impeached. Spencer Tracy joins us now in the studio. And Spencer, people in Sussex County voiced their opinions on how they feel about all these proceedings.
Maddie, many people say they are anxiously awaiting to see what happens tonight, though President Trump's former Delaware campaign head says the impeachment won't stop a Trump re-election in 2020.
President Donald Trump is poised to become only the third president in history to be impeached. People on Delmarva had a variety of reactions to the impeachment proceedings on Wednesday. Some say it's a waste of time.
Well, the economy is great. The stock market is going wild. It's the best it's been in 50 years. I don't know why. I mean, I'm happy with the guy. He's doing a good job.
While others say they're looking forward to President Trump being impeached.
I think the offenses that are being brought against him, the obstruction of justice and the reaching out to foreign governments, are things that cannot be ignored. They go against our Constitution. They have to be addressed. They are impeachable offenses.
Rob Arlett, the Delaware state chairman of President Trump's campaign, sent an email out as a call of action for Delawareans to call Congressman Lisa Blunt Rochester to share their thoughts. Arlett said he'd rather have Congress focus on bigger issues in the world than the impeachment.
That they would focus on the will of the people, and that is focus on bringing affordable health care. I think it's important to have safe borders. I think it's important to do a lot of things that are really important for the American people.
It now lays in the hands of the representatives to vote to impeach President Trump or not.
We will have more on the House proceedings tonight. If Trump is impeached, there will be a Senate trial. President Trump also tweeted today he did nothing wrong and asked for prayers.
Spencer, thank you so much for that report. It was a bright but cold day in Georgetown today. Holiday decorations shined in the sunlight. Lots of cars could be seen catching some rays as they went around the Georgetown Circle. And the cold didn't keep too many people inside either, actually.
Yeah, but the coldest air of the season so far is on the way to the coast for tonight and tomorrow.
Yeah, and our chief meteorologist Paul Williams is shaking his head over there, joining us now with a look at our first alert forecast. Good evening, Paul.
Good evening, Matt and Maddie. Yeah, this is when I start losing friends by Thursday morning. But right now, I still have a few people that might like the weatherman. Let's take a look at where we are currently. We are right now holding at 37 degrees, actually in Georgetown. Lewis, 34. Seaford, 34 degrees. Farther to the south, we're holding at a pretty decent 41 at Assateague Island, 39 Ocean City, Powellville 38 degrees, Rehoboth Beach at 36. So here's what's happening at this present time. We had a couple of flakes actually pushing through northern portions of the state just for decorative purposes only, no big deal. But we actually still have a gale wind warning in effect until Thursday morning right off of the Rehoboth Beach coast. And then off of the near Chincoteague, we have the small craft advisory still active until 1 o'clock Thursday. Bottom line is the cold invasion begins. I say that with a doom and gloom voice for a reason. We'll drop to 31 by 9 o'clock, then down into the 20s. We'll go 24 by 3 o'clock in the morning. Now, as we come back here on camera, I want to say one thing to you, face to face, eyeball to eyeball. I apologize up front right now what I'm going to show you in our next weather segment, because it's going to be that jarring. And I hope we can be friends afterwards. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Paul. A man in Milford has been arrested for beating 2 people with a baseball bat before smashing a car with it. According to police, Robert Lewis got into a fight with 2 people. He left the fight and then returned with a bat. That's when officers say Lewis began to swing the bat at the 2 victims, hitting one of them. He also hit a car multiple times, causing significant damage. According to authorities, Lewis has been arrested and charged.
Police in Milford are also investigating a Monday night shooting. Police say on the 200 block of North Street, a person was sitting in their car when 2 men approached it, pulled out a silver revolver, and pointed it at the driver. The driver sped away, but 1 round was fired at the car, and that caused the victim to crash their car. Police ask anyone with information on the shooting to contact them there in Milford.
The next time you're in Rehoboth Beach downtown at night, you might notice some streets are a little brighter. The city says a bright idea that also saves energy and money. WRDE's Jared Leedy is live in Rehoboth Beach. And Jared, the city says these new lights are important to helping the community.
Matt, Baltimore Avenue is now lit up differently thanks to new LED lights that were installed by Delmarva Power. Let me take a step out of frame so you can get a better look at the LED lights and understand the importance of their installation. The lights that were installed here and on Wilmington Avenue were installed a little bit over a month ago, but the impact they have on the community is just now coming to light. The city of Rehoboth Beach worked with Delmarva Power to cut energy costs, but the list of benefits goes on and on.
I think it's for all of the above. I mean, you've got increased lighting will help with the pedestrians walking around their own safety. It'll also help with security. If there's an issue with a security issue, it'll help by being brighter.
Delmarva Power released a statement to WRDE about the new lights that says, LED streetlights deliver greater energy efficiency and cost savings by reducing energy consumption for street lighting by 40 to 50%. The city says the replacement of the 24 older lights with the modern LEDs can save as much as $2 a month for each light. Now it depends on who you talk to, but the lights are actually aimed at the streets, lighting up the driving lanes more. Some businesses think it would be a better idea to have more lighting aimed on the sidewalks, so that way when visitors pass by, they can see their stores without a problem.
I think it would be more beneficial if they had it on the sidewalk, so this way people that are walking down to the beach and back are more lit up. With the street, it's fine, but they have lights on their vehicles.
Even though she lights the inside of her store well, she thinks the outside could use some of the spotlight.
Gives them the opportunity to look and see where they are, where if it's dark, they're going to a destination and then they get there and that's it.
But the city says the lights are a shining example for people trying to get around at night in Rehoboth Beach. Even though the city doesn't have any plans with Delmarva Power for more LED lights right now, someday they do want to install them on other streets and intersections. With coverage you can count on, I'm Jared Leedy, live in Rehoboth Beach, WRDE Coast TV News.
Thank you so much, Jared. Rehoboth Beach is moving forward also with stormwater improvements. The city launched a project back in October, and today crews were set up on 1st Street, helping line the sewer under Delaware Avenue and also Wilmington Avenue. Pipes that run underground had eroded and rusted out in spots, making issues on the streets. Crews luckily are able to make the repairs without having to tear up the streets by going through the manholes instead. This project was launched to prevent future problems on the roadways and fix issues that already existed.
Some have separated, and we have some holes in them that have caused a lot of issues with the street. So the soil would fall into the storm drain and wash away, and then the street would actually have a sinkhole develop in it. So we're trying to reline all of the corrugated metal pipe within the storm sewer.
After the project is completed, the city says it will help with interior drainage and help rid the problem of soil being washed away.
The Salisbury Fire Department is looking for volunteers.
Let's check in now with WBOC's Steve Hammond for that story and other news across Delmarva.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. Here's a look at what's happening today across Delmarva. A massive drug bust in Wycomico County has landed 2 people behind bars, and almost 5,800 bags of heroin were seized by police. Jarrell and Dejana Rodriguez were stopped in Maryland for a traffic violation in Delmar. That led to a search of their car and eventually their home. Both suspects tonight are behind bars. The Salisbury Fire Department wants to create a new position to help recruit volunteer firefighters and boost retention rates. The department has seen a decline in volunteers joining and also an increase in members leaving. The proposed volunteer coordinator would be responsible for public outreach and coming up with new recruitment strategies. The Salisbury City Council will take a final vote to create the volunteer coordinator position at its next meeting. In Cambridge, inspired by the time capsule that was sealed 50 years ago and opened with great fanfare in September, the Heritage Area and 350th Anniversary Committee are continuing the tradition. More than 100 items that tell the story of Dorchester County's heritage today in 2019 will be sealed into that time capsule for the next 50 years. A few pieces from 1969 will be added to the new time capsule, along with many other artifacts and documents that commemorate Dorchester County's history and heritage today. And that is a look at what's happening today across Delmarva. Let's send it back to Maddie and Matt with more news and coverage you can count on.
Thank you so much, Steve. Ahead on WRDE Coast TV News First at 5:30, a big win for Delaware cyclists. The national ranking just announced today.
Pets like Snickers here are waiting for their forever homes, but the Brandywine Valley SPCA has another option in the meantime. I'm Mallory Messner in Georgetown. How families can take them home for the holidays. All of that story right after this when WRDE Coast TV News First at 5:30 continues.
While many children may wish for a new furry friend for Christmas, parents aren't always ready to bring a new puppy or kitten into the family. But the Brandywine Valley SPCA has a way for them to compromise. WRDE's Mallory Metzner joins us live in our studio. And Mallory, the SPCA is offering holiday sleepovers?
Maddie, BVSPCA has 50 pets in Georgetown alone who could go home with a family over the holidays. Families can start picking them up this week, and these holiday sleepovers can last up to 2 weeks. George is waiting for a forever home, but for now, a family he can call his for the holidays will do. Carla DiGiacomo with the Brandywine Valley SPCA says George, Daisy here, and some of the other pets can go home for a little bit through the holiday sleepover program.
It's to give the animals a break from the shelter, put them into a home where they can experience some extra love just for the holidays. It's also beneficial in the sense that once we get a dog or a cat into a home and into more of a natural environment, it gives us a better idea of their personalities and how they would act outside of the shelter.
These pets could have a warm home as their gift this year, something BVSPCA says can reduce their stress. Pets like Holly can be picked up between Friday and Monday. If they're going home for the Santa sleepover, they have to come back by December 30th. But BVSPCA also has a winter break option in which Holly could stay home until January 5th. Bob Mitten from Ocean View met Stitch here 6 years ago.
It's been a good fit. I'm on my second cat also. Gets along great with the cats and dogs.
He knows how much these dogs deserve a forever family.
These are almost like homeless people. They need a place to live. They need people to take care of them.
BVSPCA says it will work with each family to find the right pet for them to take home over the holidays. And if George's temporary family wants to keep him longer, they can opt to adopt him into their forever home.
They would just, come into the shelter. They would talk with an adoption counselor, and we would be able to process an adoption for them.
Dogs and cats searching for a place for the holidays until they have a home to spend them at every year. This is the second year of holiday sleepovers. Last year, about 30 pets went home for the holidays, but BVSPCA wants to increase that. 36 applications were in as of this afternoon. For more information on how to host a shelter pet over the holidays, head over to our website, WRDE.com.
Thank you, Mallory. As we take a live look from Ocean City this evening, the sky's clear, but the cold air is rushing in. Chief Meteorologist Paul Williams has your full first alert forecast coming up after the break on WRDE Coast TV News First at 5:30.
Breezy by the beach was the theme today. Cold winds and gusts from the ocean created a bundled up day if you wanted to stop by and check out the view.
Yeah, it was nice to see the sun finally
Yes.
return, but also be nice if it didn't come with that cold
Though,
air.
okay, we were expecting it. I gotta say, Paul said it would be like this.
Yeah.
You told us, you warned us, and you're still warning us.
And this is where I start losing friends. I even have it on my extended forecast when my friends will return. It's part of my forecast. I'm forecasting when people will be friendly again.
I'm just worried that you have these insecurities about friendship and your work performance.
Well, my work performance, no insecurities. Friendship, lots of them when it's cold weather like this.
Okay,
You'll see.
We'll work on it.
You'll see. You'll see too. Man, will you see. Take a look. We are looking at temperature of 39 degrees. Dew point temperature of 20. Now, today is going to be about temperature versus dew point temperature, okay? That's going to be very important as far as how it feels tomorrow morning. But right now, 39 with dew point temperatures 20, so we're looking at a 19-degree difference there with the winds out of the northwest. Now, also for our Bay Health Cam, temperature of 34, dew point temperature of 15. Take note of that dew point temperature and temperature comparison now. 38 for the temperature, dew point temperature of 19. Taking a look at Doppler radar, we're seeing it staying clear. Now, we had a couple of flakes here and there pushing through the area, but they were very brief and short-lived. As far as what's happening right now, we still have the cold front that's pushing through the area. Now, as this cold front begins to kind of push on through here, I want you to keep in mind that we have a good deal of cold air that's going to be in place. Now, that's going to be the big thing here. We're looking at growing cold. That's going to be it. The dominance is going to be the cold air that's going to be in place. That's the big deal. Our temperature trend, for example, we're looking at it continuing to stay in the 30s. 32 by the 9 o'clock hour. That's the temperature trend. Now let's take a look at the dew point temperatures. Dew point temperatures, measurement of moisture in the atmosphere. Here's why I want you to pay attention to it. The drier it is, the lower this temperature, the colder and more uncomfortable you're going to feel, okay? 5:45 in the morning, I want you to look at this temperature in Georgetown, 8. 8 in Bethany Beach, 10 Rehoboth Beach. That's cold enough to lose some friends. Okay, so by the afternoon, it gets better, if you want to call 14 better. And then as we go into Friday, we'll start off at about 16 in Georgetown, for example, 16 Bethany Beach, 22 in Ocean City. Then it'll get a little bit better by Friday afternoon. Now, let's change that over to why that's such an important deal. Because of the lack of moisture in the atmosphere and the winds, here's what it's going to feel like tomorrow morning. 9 in Georgetown. Not the temperature, the feels like. It's going to feel like 9 when you walk outside. Dress for 9 degrees. Dress for 8 degrees on Broadkill Beach. Dress for 9 degrees on Bethany Beach, Rehoboth Beach. Dress for 10 degrees, Ocean City, tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock. It's going to be beautiful sunshine, glorious sunshine, and cold as all get out. Then, as you take a look at Friday evening, it's going to clear out for us. So, take a look at your Paul Davis restoration forecast. Just so uncomfortable for us on Thursday morning. Friday, still an irritating chill. First day of winter, the cold still remains. Here's a look at the rest of your Paul Davis forecast. And by Tuesday, my friends will return because we'll be back to 53 degrees. That's a look at your forecast. Back to you.
Thank you, Paul. I'll always be your friend. Still to come here on WRDE Coast TV News. First at 5:30, a new state-of-the-art home for Delaware State Troopers in Lewis.
Christmas is only 1 week away, but each Christmas dinner can come with a mess in the kitchen and a lot of money spent. I'm Paige Marley, and I'll show you where you can eat your Christmas dinner on Delmarva.
From the beaches to the bay, coverage you can count on. WRDE Coast TV News first at 5:30. Your local news hour continues.
Good evening, and thank you so much for joining us. I'm Madeline Overturf.
And I'm Matt Pensick. Here are tonight's top stories.
First, people on Delmarva had mixed reaction to today's impeachment proceedings. Rob Arlett, the Delaware State Chairman of President Trump's campaign, sent an email out as a call of action for Delawareans to call Congresswoman Lisa Blunt Rochester and share their thoughts. Arlett says the impeachment won't stop a Trump re-election in 2020.
Some parts of downtown Rehoboth are now brighter thanks to the installation by Delmarva Power of new LED lights. In a statement to WRDE, Delmarva Power said the lights offer greater efficiency and reduce energy consumption for street lighting by 40 to 50%. The city replaced 24 older lights with the LEDs. And a follow-up on a story we had yesterday, the Brandywine Valley SPCA says they have 50 pets at their Georgetown branch who are available for their holiday sleepover program. Cats and dogs can spend up to 2 weeks with a household. Think of it as a trial run. The SPCA will assist if the temporary family decides they want to adopt the pet.
History is in the making in Washington today as the House votes on the impeachment of President Trump.
NBC's Alice Barr has been watching from Capitol Hill. She joins us now with how this day has been playing out.
The weight of history hangs over the U.S. Capitol today as the House holds its final vote on the impeachment of President Trump.
Today we are here to defend democracy for the people.
One by one, representatives speaking in support or opposition.
Today is going to be a lot of things. What it is not is fair. What it is not is about the truth.
All with an eye toward the legacy of impeaching an American president for only the third time.
Dear Ellie and James.
Congressman Joe Kennedy reading a letter telling his children why he's voting yes.
He broke our laws. He threatened our security.
Democrats hold the majority in the House, and nearly everyone is expected to vote to impeach the president for abusing his power and obstructing Congress. President Trump watching and fuming, tweeting, "Can you believe I will be impeached today?" Democrats insisting the case against him is clear.
The president committed constitutional crimes. The president's crimes are impeachable.
While Republicans line up solidly to defend President Trump.
I believe this is the most unfair, politically biased, rigged process that I have seen in my entire life.
A process now being written into history, with the Republican-controlled Senate eager to begin the next chapter. Alice Barr, NBC News, Washington.
The Senate Majority Leader is promising a speedy trial next month, expected to end in an acquittal. No president in the history of the nation has ever been removed from office by impeachment.
The state of Delaware is once again ranked among the top bicycle-friendly states. DelDOT announced that the League of American Bicyclists has ranked the first state as the 6th most bicycle-friendly state in the nation. DelDOT says Delaware was previously ranked number 7 in 2017. With a growing number of trails, Governor John Carney says they are focused on providing safer trails and more accessible areas for all cyclists. DelDOT says they plan to create low-stress bicycle networks that are safe for everyone to ride on in Delaware. Frank Cole of Atlantic Cycle says in Sussex County, we're seeing a lot more people riding bikes and the benefits they bring to the community.
It's lumped in with the a lot of other mobility issues as far as planning goes and safety goes. You know, this is one thing that will lower the carbon footprint in the area and also reduce
Frank
emissions.
Cole says the Lewis-Georgetown Trail is going to be an 18-mile paved trail. It will go underneath Route 1 and only cross onto one main part of Route 9 by Cool Springs.
During the time of gift giving, Denrec Natural Resources police units from Delaware have delivered 585 toys to the U.S. Marine Corps Reserve's Toys for Tots. Toys for Tots is a program that provides gifts during holiday season to less fortunate kids in local areas. Today, 3 Natural Resources police units placed Toys for Tots donation boxes in locations statewide to collect new and unwrapped toys suitable for boys and girls of all ages.
Some Delaware State Police troopers are changing up their commute. Troop 7 opened the doors to their new location. The new building is located on Mulberry Knoll Road in Lewis. A formal opening will happen in the future. We'll keep you updated on when that will be. As of now, the older building right there on Route 1 will no longer be open to serve the public.
Cold and windy Wednesday at Cape Henlopen State Park, and while the beach is beautiful, wasn't quite the day for sunbathing. You know, I'm going to have to wait a few months for that one. So we had a small taste of the cold today, but the main course arrives tonight and into tomorrow.
Our chief meteorologist, Paul Williams, has another look at your first alert forecast. Good evening, Paul.
Good evening, Matt and Maddie. Yeah, the cold air is on the way like a freight train, and it's coming no matter where you are. It will hit. Let's take a look at what we had for today. Well, today we got up to 42 for the high, which is about 6 degrees below the norm for this time of year. 32 for the low. Here's where we are currently with temperatures. I mean, we're holding at 34 currently in Lewis, 35 Georgetown, Seaford, 34 degrees. Zooming in a little bit tighter, we have Ocean City coming in at 36 degrees currently. We're at 35 in Bethany Beach, 35 also in Rehoboth, Milton, 33. Doppler radar is reflecting that we've had a small touch of, basically a flake or two in northern portions of the state. Nothing to even write about. You couldn't even catch it on film. It was so short. But we still have the active gale warning in effect off of the coast for Thursday until 10 o'clock in the morning, and then a small craft advisory. What are we expecting? Well, the bottom line is the real feel will drop into the single-digit category. So the cold is in full effect for tomorrow morning. Now, the chill will stick around for at least a couple of days, but will eventually and slowly thaw out. Like, next week-ish. We'll talk about when we're expecting all that turnaround to get away from all this crazy cold for tomorrow morning. Coming up in a few moments. Till then, back to you.
Coming up in our next half hour here on WRDE Coast TV News First at 5:30, a big day for 2 Eastern Shore high school football players.
Maddie, one player with Salisbury roots, the other from the Mid-Shore, both finalized commitments to Power 5 programs. Today, the verbal commitment of North Carolina's Kendron Wayman became a signed deal. The Bayside Conference Defensive Player of the Year made it official. He will be a Wake Forest Demon Deacon. After signing his commitment, Wayman donned a Wake Forest hat. Most national recruiting outlets had Wayman rated a 3-star defensive end. Now, Wake was 8-4 this past regular season and will face Michigan State in the Pinstripe Bowl. Wayman and the North Carolina community excited about playing at the FBS level.
It's a milestone that I just set.
and I got another one, and that's going to Wake Forest June 8th.
I'm really proud for him. Proud, excited, looking forward to see what the future holds for him.
Look, having the chance to go on Wake Forest and play Division I football for Kendron is a life changer. It's a life changer, not just playing football, but academically. And this changes the entire trajectory of where he's going.
North Carolina is developing an ACC pipeline. Wayman joins Boston College's David Bailey as a former Bulldog in the conference, and Jamion Franklin is at Notre Dame, which has a loose football affiliation with the ACC. Another player with Bayside roots signed today with an SEC program. Dominic Bailey will be a Tennessee Volunteer. Bailey played most of his high school career at Y-High before transferring for his senior season to Baltimore's St. Francis Academy. Most national recruiting services have Bailey rated as a 4-star recruit, ranking him the 24th best high school defensive tackle in the country. And while it was a big day for a number of high school athletes on Delmarva, last night the Ravens learned that they have 12 Pro Bowl players. Second-year quarterback Lamar Jackson is one of 6 on Baltimore who made the Pro Bowl for the first time. Another first-timer is cornerback Marlon Humphrey, the former first-round draft pick. Has 2 interceptions this season and 3 fumble recoveries. Linebacker Mac Judon also as a first-timer. He leads the Ravens with 8.5 sacks and 13 tackles for loss. The Ravens, with all their Pro Bowlers, visit Cleveland on Sunday in an attempt to win their 13th game of the season.
Time now for a look at what's coming up tonight in primetime here on WRDE. It's Ellen's greatest night of giveaways at 8, 9, and 10. And don't forget to join us back here for WRDE News at 11.
And tonight on CBS, the finale of Survivor at 8 p.m. and then at 10, Survivor Reunion Special.
And tonight on Fox, the finale of The Masked Singer at 8 p.m.
The coldest air of the season so far moves into the area tonight.
We will take a final check-in with our chief meteorologist, Paul Williams, on your forecast after this break. Thank you so much to everyone who has participated in this year's Bless Our Children. You can see we already have a ton of donations, and that means a lot, but we're in need of some more help. We have more families in need this year on Delmarva, and you can help us address that need so we can meet our goal and make sure every child has a present to open Christmas morning. Right now, we want to take a second to thank Ann and Rodney Hance from Bay Crossing in Lewis, Delaware. Thank you guys for this beautiful card. Love Santa there. And thank you for your donation. If you would like to help, please head to our website or our sister station WBOC's website, where you can find all the information. A British woman made history in the sport of darts. Fallon Sherrick became the first woman to beat a male competitor at the PDC, or Professional Darts Corporation, World Championship. Sherrick came back from losing the opening set to defeat Ted Evans in front of a rowdy crowd at the Alexandra Palace in London. The Englishwoman made 6 180s. That's a perfect score over 3 darts, and Sherrick said she hopes her victory proves that women can beat and play well against male competition.
All right, let's get right to it, Paul. Just so we're clear, you're saying it's going to be cold.
It's kind of like Robert De Niro. A little bit, just a little bit. Let's take a look. Just a little bit cold, a little bit. Actually, a lot bit. Look at that. It's just so uncomfortable for tomorrow morning. I know you're going to say that when you wake up, and just know that I let you know early, so bundle up, wear your hat, wear your mittens. Well, muffins might not be a bad idea, and it's going to be irritatingly cold for Friday, but we'll thaw out by next week just in time to enjoy all the holidays that kick off with winter solstice on Saturday, Hanukkah on Sunday, Christmas on Wednesday, and Kwanzaa on Thursday.
So what out of all of this do you think is going to be the biggest takeaway for people? Like, need to wear more layers, or just need...
Okay. Best way to kind of combat this, make sure you cover your hands. Make sure you have something over your head, because you lose more heat out of your top of your head than anywhere else. So if you wear a hat, that's half of the battle. And covering your extremities, nice warm dry socks. And mittens, not muffins, but mittens will help. Although I'm all for muffins.
Okay.
I got excited.
Okay. We'll eat muffins later. Thank you for joining us here for WRDE Coast TV News First at 5:30, your local news hour.
And for more news and local weather, download our WRDE News app.
The NBC Nightly News is up next.
And we'll see you later tonight for WRDE News at 11. Have a great night.